What's up, nation? Today let's talk about more PS5 stock drops from Sony and Costco, both happening today, and Cyberpunk 2077's performance issues on the PS4. All right, everyone, so we got a couple different stories I want to cover today. The first of which is actually what we talked about yesterday, and that's that Sony Direct is continuing to restock basically daily at this point. We're at 3 days out of this week. They've seen stock waves, so Tuesday through Thursday, every day they've loaded stock, so continue to watch them. I think they're by far and away the #1 retailer to secure your console before Christmas. We also saw Costco go live, so we'll talk about what that means and maybe just some last-minute tips and strategies on how to secure your console before the Christmas window. And then the other thing I want to talk about today is actually the most popular game on the market right now. You guys have probably seen all types of videos uploaded today around it, and that's Cyberpunk 2077. We finally saw its official release, and out of the gate, guys, there are major problems that users are reporting on the PlayStation 4 specifically. It gets a little bit better on PS4 Pro, and it sounds like the best way to play it is on a PS5 via the backwards compatibility. So we're going to talk through all that and kind of what users are reporting so far, and maybe if it's worth, waiting until the PS5 version of this game comes out and just playing it on there, or if we can expect future patches and upgrades and things like that. Now, before we do hop into all the details today, I just want to quickly invite everybody to join Sunbro Nation if you haven't done so already. Do so by subscribing below, hit the like button on this video if you enjoy the content today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming and console news as we're in the new generation of gaming. But with that, guys, let's dive into the details. So I want to continue to encourage everyone that if you're feeling down and defeated about not being able to secure a PlayStation 5 console, do not give up yet. We are continuing to see stock come in, and I do think that we're going to see the stock normalize, hopefully sooner rather than later. But the ones who are getting them first is Sony, and they are putting them up on their website daily at this point. We have seen Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday all have successful stock drops, all in the afternoon range. A bunch of people have been asking me, when do these things go live? Well, the answer is that we don't know. It is spread out, but we do typically know to always expect them to go live in the early to middle, sometimes even late afternoon and into the evening hours. So I would say really anywhere from the window of 12 noon to about 8, 9 p.m. is probably the latest that we see them go live. So I mean, and that's really across most time zones. There might be some flexibility in there, but it's always like early to late or mid-afternoon is the most common time that we see them reload, and every now and then we'll see it go up super late, like an 8 or 9 p.m. But yeah, it's worth checking into and being in front of your computer. Like if you know you're going to be gone and you're only on a mobile device, you can complete the purchase on a mobile device, but sometimes people are having better experiences on a computer. So I mean, just kind of plan ahead. If you're free in the afternoons most days, just make sure that you're near a computer, that as soon as that link gets tweeted out, and make sure you turn on your notifications on Twitter. Once that goes live, you just want to hop in, and hopefully you got in the right window where you can be selected to purchase your console. There's still a bunch of gamers posting their order confirmations. It is going through. People are getting wins from this, so just make sure that you're continued to stay plugged into your news sources for daily updates as if you're still looking to get this console. Now, the other retailer that I want to talk about is Costco, because we've continued to see them offer PS5 bundles and PS5s just through their member-only website, so you do have to be a member of Costco, so that's one thing to note. But they're typically getting a pretty nice ship date. I mean, most of these, I think the ones today were set to ship by the 14th or something like that, so it's like you're probably still getting it before Christmas in that window, so they're another good one to keep an eye out. And I do think that between them and then we're seeing little incremental drops from Target, walk-ins are still happening from Wal-Mart. So guys, there's a bunch of opportunity to still go secure that console if you haven't done so already. You just have to be plugged in and ready to go. Now, the other thing I want to talk about today is Cyberpunk 2077 and the big performance issues that are coming up right after launch with this game, and that's both mainly on the original PS4 and on the original Xbox One, and then even the PS4 Pro is having some problems running this game effectively. So there's no telling on if it's how they programmed it or if it's something that they can kind of smooth out as they go. But guys, it's a kind of a big deal. They've released a main level AAA title that's selling for a full $60 on the marketplace, and there's reports of this thing runs at 720p and is dipping beneath 20 frames per second, even as low as 15 frames per second in some cases, and it really seems like that's just an unacceptable level. I mean, it is something that if you're going too too far beneath 30 frames per second, it really takes you out of the experience, and it's just surprising to a lot of players that a main AAA title like that is having these kind of performance issues out of the gate. Now, I covered Cyberpunk recently in the video yesterday, just kind of talking about, you know, what to expect with it and how there's a big last minute patch and update. So it feels like, guys, this game was delayed so many times. It feels like, from my perspective, that it's something that the developers still wanted to go to market in time, but that everything was rushed and everything was last minute, and they took on so much by launching on the PS4, the PS5, you know, it's 2 different generations, and they launched on PC and Google Stadia all at once. And it really seems to me like it's something that, you know, maybe the publisher and the developer were not on the same page on, you know, what the time release has to be, and it has to be here before Christmas and stuff like that. And it seems like they just kind of fell flat on some different fronts. But it does appear to be a great game, but hopefully you're at least running it on a PS4 Pro, because it sounds like if you have the original PS4, you may be having a bad time right now. But I do want to share some details of the article that kind of outlines the kind of performance that users are seeing from this on the regular PS4 and even the PS4 Pro, and what to expect in case you haven't picked up this game yet. Cyberpunk 2077's performance on PS4 consoles has been called dire and a mess in new technical analysis. Digital Foundry found that on the base PS4, the much anticipated open world game dropped to 15 frames per second in some sequences, while the PS4 Pro dropped as low as 18 frames per second, but hits 30 frames per second more often. It said the PS4 version mostly runs at 720p, while the PS4 Pro version is around 1080p most of the way. Based on its experience with the first 3 hours of the game on patch 1.02, Digital Foundry's John Linneman called the base PS4 version hugely cut down compared to the PC version. There's just so much less detail, he noted, pointing out a big difference in the NPC and car count. They've clearly built a high-end PC experience targeting cutting-edge hardware that comes with a cost, Lieneman said. I'd have been perfectly fine with the visual cuts if it guaranteed a smooth frame rate, but unfortunately, we are once again dipping back into a sort of PS3 and 360 era frame rate. So the article continues to point out a number of different flaws, but it sounds like after you hit around the 45-minute to an hour point in the game, it takes a dip for the worse because the world starts to open up more, and you really start to see the performance limitations of putting out this game on the previous generation hardware. But at the same time, it's like they've had this game in development for so long now, you would think that they could have maybe smoothed it out a little bit better for, you know, obviously we're in a transition year here as we're going from the PS4 to the PS5, but it's still something that it's kind of it's sad to see that they weren't able to slow down and really do the optimization work that needs to happen for a game to at least run at 30 frames per second, because you like I said, you dip down too far past that and it just simply becomes unplayable. But I would love to know your guys' opinions on if this is affecting you or bothering you at all yet, or if this is something that you know, that is going to maybe hinder you from buying the game, because it, you know, there is only the PS4 version out right now. It sounds like you can play that just fine on backwards compatibility on the PS5, and that's the best way to play the game. But there will be a standalone PS5 version, and you do get that as a digital download by purchasing just the PS4 game, but it's not fleshed out yet, and it's not taking advantage of all the PS5's hardware. But it sounds like PS5, if you pick this thing up, you might be just fine, but if you're planning on running on your existing PlayStation 4 or even the PS4 Pro, you may have some problems. So let me know what your guys' opinion are on the developers pushing it out either way, you know, regardless of the frame rate problems. I mean, is this something that's really got you up in arms and has made you angry, or is it something that, you know, that you kind of are understanding that they maybe just tried to, you know, launch it on too many consoles at the same time? So let me know that in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching the video today, everyone. I do truly appreciate you all sticking around until the end. I did at this point in the video want to invite you all to leave me a comment. Let me know what your opinions are on Sony Direct. Have you been continuing to have problems with the queue and have you been really frustrated with them, or are you going to continue to keep trying daily and watch their stock daily as we continue to think that we'll see daily stock drops from them leading into Christmas? And then also let me know, have you picked up Cyberpunk 2077 yet? Are you planning to? And then if you're seeing any of these performance issues, if they're really game breaking for you, or if it's just something that's not bothering you near as bad as what's going around online. I would love to get a back and forth conversation started with you guys, so please let me know that in the comments down below. Now, before I do end the video, I just want to quickly invite everybody one more time to join Sunbro Nation. If you haven't done so already, do so by subscribing below. Hit the like button on your way out on this video if you enjoyed the content today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming and console news as we're in the new generation of gaming. With that, guys, is going to do it for me. I hope you all have a great day. Sunbro Nation, out.